Welcome back everyone to Let's Play Terra Invicta in the demo. Episode number 2 of our attempt to reunionize the Soviets. That's right. We're going to try to recreate the Soviet Union, but even better, maybe. Okay, so let's move on. I guess we have some text here, which I'm going to attempt to get lucky with. So I'm seeing some pretty high percentage chances. Okay, so this is a public campaign in Russia, which happens first, and then we get the actual swing at the executive, which we really need. I don't remember what the chance was. Okay, information science lab, that's not important. Okay, we have a new alien fleet entering low Earth orbit, which means we're going to get another crash.
Not to look directly at what you're trying to see. Offset your
Skywatch has been done.
Where you think you notice the movement. At night, the center of your vision.
This doesn't really make sense to me as a quote. I mean, it's true, but I mean, the guy can probably explain that this is how the two different parts of your eye work. One is works more on contrast, and one works more on motion. It doesn't seem that difficult. But anyway, maybe he didn't know himself, and that's the point of the quote. That their humanity first type approach is a little bit less about the science and more about the gut. Now it looks like here that we're well behind. We're at 28, and I see the two on the right are at 83 and 75. Not enough time to catch up, so we're not going to worry about that. anything that I see the servants going for, I kind of reactively don't go for. Eventually we need to take control of these texts, but that's probably only going to happen after we have a nice big block underneath of us. Now, what else do we have here? We have advanced magnetics, which is just exactly what Humanity First just started. That one seems useful, but okay, I'm going to prioritize mine first. And then we have mission to space, which I think is very useful. And you can tell that mission to space is getting support from the people we care about and not support from the people who we care about in a negative way. So, also just to explain things a little bit more, make sure I'm just saying, you have your different fields up here. This is like F2, F1 is this one, so that's F1. Then you have Earth is F2, which is where we are. F3 goes to the solar system. F4 brings you to the council screen. Then F5 is the nation screen where you can check out your control points. So we're at 30 out of a cap of 85. F6 is our halves. 7 is spaceships. We won't get to that for a long time. F8 is, importantly, the technology. And then F9 is this wonderful screen where you can see all the different factions. And by the way, this is in the tutorial, so I'm sure you as a good person did the tutorial and know this already, but if you hold shift, it changes the column for all the different factions at the same time, which is pretty useful. Otherwise, you can just click each one individually. So let's actually take a look at relations. We're tolerance. Okay, they're in conflict with the aliens, Humanity First, which makes sense. The servants are supporting them. This makes sense. Actually, Project Exodus is in conflict with the aliens, which is interesting. I guess I would probably consider us in conflict with them. Naturally, we are the resistance after all. But it doesn't look like anybody else is mad at anybody else, so everything is nice and peaceful. Let's go back to the Earth and advance time.
We're taking over.
Okay, good. 2 for 2. We got... Oh, this is the Baltic States. No, I need Russia.
Our supporters are in place.
Oh, we did it. Oh my gosh, we did it. That is huge. I want to zoom in, so let me just take me there. Okay, so at some point, we're going to get a tech. I think it's the Skywatch or something like that, Global Skywatch. And that'll that's going to show that the aliens have military bases, and that's going to cause a huge undermining of the Academy's points. So when that happens, we'll just try to move in and take Russia completely. But for now, we're going to have to be okay, unfortunately, with dividing half of our spoils. Now, I'm not sure if I went over this in the last video, because I did it in the stream, and the memories are all kind of blurring together. But we probably want a, let's call this Soviet reunion. Ooh, misspelled. So for the Soviet Union, we're probably still going to go with this kind of 3-2-3. Unity, we're probably going to want a little bit lower. And we're probably going to want military, which is going to act as a means of combating unrest. And that'll probably be our default. Let me just see how that plays with the Soviet Union and the rest of the places, really. So if we go to priorities now, we might need to do things which counteract the influence that the Academy is doing here. So like they're putting a ton into boost to mission control. I kind of do want mission control and boost. I just may not want to prioritize it more than 4%, in which case, while if I owned all 4 of these, I might put like red, 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 red. One thing of 3 is going to be fine, so we'll just let them, the Academy, take care of that from their share, so that we can focus more on economy and honestly on welfare. I think we might go up on welfare, because that is not apparently a huge priority for the Academy. Okay, anyways, we have one more to look forward to, 80%. Come on. Damn. I will say that statistically we were likely to actually get all 3 of these. But I'm looking at a small study. We shouldn't be looking at things on a case-by-case basis. We should just look at the law of large numbers, right? We gotta look at the results after all is said and done. Okay, so not terrible. Honestly, out of all the ones I could fail, I much prefer to fail this one than any other one. And plus it's Danny, who we consider a failure anyway. So we're going to continue to try to get these control points, which will give us more access to the country, which also gives us more access to the funding and the spoils of the country. We're probably going to end up making a lot of money just through the spoils that... Actually, how does it work? Does spoils divided evenly? Let me actually read this. The owner of each control point. Yep, it does. So this is providing right now 67.1 directly to the owner of each control point. Which is us included. So what's our monthly? It must be more than 120. Wait a second. Is this a yearly thing then? Grants 67.1 directly to the owner of each control point, increasing net quality. Does not say whether or not this is a yearly value, but 120, it must be yearly. So let's move forward to the next council period. Go to 5. And there it is. So 3 out of 4, I mean, sounds fine to me. Okay, so yeah, we do have designs eventually on completely... Wow, they actually have a huge edge over us for now. But eventually we're going to try to kick them out. I don't know, it'll happen eventually. Okay, where do we want to go next? So, kind of a lot of the countries that we're most interested in are starting to fall. Next thing to do is probably... Oh, shoot, we actually lost Slovakia now. And to Humanity First, which, you know, is not the worst thing, but it's also not the best thing. Trying to look at some countries here to see where we might go next. Oh, we took Afghanistan. I think we lost this one. And they're starting to move in here, which... That's troublesome. South Korea is actually a pretty good one to take. We could try to just go right for Japan. No, that's a little bit too far. Let's stick with the game plan Tortuga, which is Pakistan. Pakistan does have a pretty good following for the resistance. That'll be helpful. I don't think there's anything more we can do here without doing coups and all that. So we don't really need to get involved in that game this early on. Let's just continue to try to grab points. Like Myanmar, which we got. Bangladesh, let's get Bangladesh. They have actually a huge GDP, but it doesn't amount to much. So Bangladesh, how can we entice you to join the Soviet Union?
Standing by.
Probably we're going to get Zagurds to do this. Oops. A little bit further. 61, very good. We'll take a 77 there.
We'll bring this nation to our side.
Okay, you...
Acknowledged.
You do public campaign with him.
Reporting in.
Increase and rest, public campaign with you as well. Which is persuasion driven, but I think that persuasion is actually more important to use this way. So where do we want to control next? Poland wouldn't be bad. I think this is also going to have... well, I think we will eventually get claims on them. I think I'm going to go for it. Just take a shot. Take a
Taking
2 influence
control.
shot at it. You
Where
are
to?
here.
Ready.
So Danny, and then Danny, what can you do? Oh, Danny
At your
boy.
service.
You know what? I think I'm going to actually start unifying places. So 75% chance for you. That's good. I'll give you 1 extra point. Make an 80. Decrease the chance of failure by 20%.
What's the of?
And then you are going to be our public campaign individual. Unless we want to start just gobbling up these places. No, I think it's actually more important to do the public campaign and start influencing the places we want to influence. Like, we could just start on India right away. I mean, India is much more vulnerable than... Or should we start doing Pakistan and then work our way to India? That also makes a lot of sense. Okay, let's start doing... Oh, wow, 16%. My god. Censorship? Where does that censorship come from? I mean, I don't think we can throw enough money at this problem. That's not going to be possible. Yeah, so we're gonna do our best just by working with the people who are around them, which I guess we're already doing. Darn. We're trying to do. We can go to... Ooh, I don't like this. I really don't like this. Let me just see how much of a chance the Gurds would have. Only 35. Okay.
Where do you need me?
So the thing is, you don't really want the servants to get nuclear weapons, and it's extremely difficult to prevent them. I guess it's actually worse for them to take other places. Okay, fine. I guess I'll let them have Iran. I don't really want them to have it, but that is a lot of influence to fight back against. Well, let's see where else we might go. Vietnam only has 1 of its 3 taken. We could try to step in here, although the Academy has the lion's share of influence, and they're already holding 1 of that. Oh, I did talk about Taiwan. This would be a good way to influence China. And I think Taiwan and China can merge, so let's actually go for this one. So I assume that this is very low, but public campaign, oh, it's great. So let's... can put a little bit of money into that.
I will tell our story.
Confirm assignments.
We
and
believe we can join
off
them
we
as
go.
brothers and sisters if we only convince them we are worthy.
Okay, Humanity First has completed orbital shipbuilding.
Wise people may find the signs of our...
And they're gonna do... Wait, no. What did they complete? I gotta go back and read that pop-up. They chose orbital shipbuilding as the next one, but I don't know what that one that was completed was. Oh, it was... Man, I mean, I just read it like 5 minutes ago. Okay, so I think we'll just do 111 and put all of our things into getting more management research. Don't think there's anything else. Yeah, there's definitely not anything else of like super high interest here. So now it's just all up to our people. Go get it. Because once we have more
We're
territory,
winning their hearts and minds.
we're also going to... Great, so we got this. Increased by 7%. We're also going to have more research power, and just raw value when we take over these countries. Okay, Kazakhstan, we now have both those control points. Very good. Poor Danny. He really
We've got
doesn't
our
want to be
people in
considered a
place.
failure. Okay, Bangladesh, got that one. That's good.
Our presence is
And
growing.
for once, we got 4 out of 4. Fantastic. This is, I think the odds were, I think we're riding right at the expectation value right now. We got Poland, that's great. Okay. Let's take a look and see what else happened in Poland. Did the third one get... So we could actually take over the executive in Poland, and since it's, you know, it's a steep competition, I think I'm going to go ahead and try to do that. Oh my gosh, while I wasn't looking, the Humanity First actually took all of Romania. Now, we don't have to worry about that too much. There are mischievous ways you can get around not having the control points. I don't really want to go to war with Humanity First, but if we wanted to take Romania into the greater Soviet reunion, then There's ways we can do it by going to war with them or purging. I mean, coup d'etat. Little things we can do. Let's take a look at Pakistan now. I think that's a new focus. So we have Bangladesh, or do we need one more? We need one more here. Should be a lot easier now that we have 1 point already there. So let's see.
Here.
What is your control there? 61%. I mean, that's not great. We're up to 56% in Pakistan. Yeah, it's funny. It's almost as high as in Bangladesh. So I think what we ought to do is go for Pakistan, because this is part of our plan. We'll put 4 points into it.
Bringing them on board.
Get our next best person and
Ready
see
to
if
go.
they can... Ooh,
Standing
that's
by
right.
for
We're
orders.
battling for Poland here. Well, we could take a 76% swing at it. Well, we might as well. Might as well
Running
just
this
go
place
for it.
in no time.
Boy, the Academy and I are really going to have it out as soon as... all said and done, the Academy's fighting for us here, fighting for here. When they have their big event, we're going to have a lot of purging to do. We're going to have to do it pretty quick. Who's left? So you're doing public campaigns now. Do I want to do public campaigns anywhere else? I think we'll just repeat it in Taiwan, knowing that that's what we're going for. Part of me was considering going for Japan. I do like Japan. But let's stick with Taiwan for now. It has really good GDP. Not a lot of influence points, but at least a reasonable amount of research. Yeah, so we'll dump a little bit of money into that. Basically, the 2-week income is all going right directly into public campaign.
I will try to sway the bubble.
We should also be checking every couple of phases to see if new groups are popping up. Like this one, we don't... Oh, we do have the money for. This one grants us a couple missions: advise, stabilize nation, public campaign. Those are actually really good missions, and it pays for itself in terms of administration. So this is actually something I want to buy. We should also see if anybody else has the ability to buy something. Don't we have a criminal? What's preventing you from getting this? We must have a control point in Italy or a counselor from there. So we could actually get La Cosa Nostra if we just had a person in Italy, or we could put a point into Italy. I don't know if it's worth getting. I mean, it's a good group, but I'm not sure if it's worth doing. This one, on the other hand, I just really like this. Administration, getting administration is always good. Getting persuasion, this happens to be extremely important right now. We'd like to get this on a person who doesn't already have public campaign. So, like Zagur's here. He already has the highest persuasion. And now to stack Stabilized Nation and... Yes, Stabilized Nation, that's another thing. Stabilized Nation is another one. So, good old Danny here has no persuasion, but we could give him the ability to stabilize and to do public campaigns, of which he has neither. So you have public campaign, but you don't have stabilized nation? Correct. And you have public campaign, and you do not have stabilized nation. And you have stabilized nation, but you don't have public campaign. Well, it's probably more important to have public campaign. So the 2-to-1 ratio that we see right now is what I like. I mean, having 2 of our counselors with public, what is it called? Public campaign is better than having, and only having 1 stabilized nation is better than having 2 with stabilized nation and 1 with public campaign. Since you're going to want to do a lot of campaigning. And, campaigning, it kind of solves the, destabilized nations is kind of a symptom of a problem that the public doesn't support you. So you can kind of solve the stabilization with the public campaigning. It just solves it slowly, and the stabilized nation reduces unrest very quickly. So what am I saying? In the end, I guess it's probably better to have 2 people at 8. So I'm going to go and do it this way. So now she has the ability to stabilize nations and to advise. She's a terrible advisor. I didn't think about that. If I wanted to think about advising, he's probably my best. Mimone here is probably my best character for advising. 196. The administration goes to economy, science goes to research, and command goes to military for the nation. Yeah, hands down, that's my best person. But for now, this is fine. Okay, and that's actually going to improve her chance. Where did she go? We can re-roll it just to see what she was. Oh, I mean, it already updated. I don't think I had one at 82 previously. Yeah, it's only 4 points. So it looks like we'll have a good chance of getting pull in them.
I'm here.
Danny, I didn't assign you? Oh, okay. Well, let's actually have you go and start collecting everything back into one nation. This is going to take 10 influence, which is pretty expensive. So, you know what? Actually, we'll wait a little bit longer. Wow, you only have a 30% chance to control... Oh, we already have Belarus. And we already have the Baltic states. Okay. That explains it. Okay, Uzbekistan... Kyrgyzstan we already have. So yeah, it really does count. It's time for us to start spending 10 influence a pop to start uniting, to reunionizing the Soviets.
We'll be running this.
But for now, we'll do one more control.
Public opinion is moving in our direction.
Only 5% this time, but it's okay. Come on.
Our supporters are in place.
Alright, we got Poland.
We're taking over.
We got Pakistan.
We're taking.
We got, well, that was not as important, but we got Azerbaijan. So 2 complete success stories in a row. We're rolling. Which means that we should be prepared for the worst. I can't expect that our luck will be great forever. The rest is high in Afghanistan. Well, that might be because most of the people sport the initiative and we stole that away from them. I'm not going to worry about it too much, or should I? I guess what I can do is, yeah, we can redirect priorities. We can just minimize these and put all of it into unity and military, which will be very helpful. We can even do a little bit in spoils, which is going to help reduce our chance of being thrown out of here. Again, I don't usually find that people oust people, other factions oust, there's no ousting of other factions this early on, typically. Anyway, let's see what we're going to do this time. So we have Pakistan, 1 point. Myanmar, we have locked. Bangladesh and Pakistan both take 1 to lock. I'm actually really happy to see that the Academy invested their points here. We're probably at the point of having a significant chance of getting... Ooh, 5%. I guess I ate my words there. But we do have a 60% here. Now, I don't remember what exactly... Ethical gives us a 1. You, what would your chance there be? A 48. Okay, so it's very clear that Mr. Ethical Zagurds is the best option. I think we'll go in and try to get Taiwan. 81%, that's a really good chance. I mean, it's an 81% chance, but I consider that very good. Might as well take a look at our control point cap. 52 out of 85, we're doing okay. Okay, so Danny, I guess we'll get you doing something next. No, actually, what we're going to have you do is start setting a national policy. Yeah, I guess it is a little bit early to be doing that. Wow, the Academy has really gone big. I'm actually ecstatic to see Humanity First taking over France and Benelux. You know what? Humanity First is executing the EU campaign. That's hilarious. We have the Protectorate establishing themselves in the UK, which is fine. Has anybody gone to Canada or Mexico? Oh, okay. That was, well, yes. Man, academies everywhere. So it's unfortunate that they got Canada. That deters us from being able to do the United States. I'm not planning to get the United States right away. The thing is, despite the fact that they have less GDP, the United States does have some pretty big benefits as far as like giving you a lot of mission control points. It has a lot of boost. Like China doesn't have that much. Does it have as much? I don't know if it has as much as the United States. But what's the mission control for this? 2. It does look like it has as much boost. It's just judging based on... So it looks like it has these 3, 4, 1.3, 7.5, 3, and 3. So that's about 14. And they give you 2 mission control. Well, the United States gives you, I think, 4. Well, I mean, stupid. I can look here. 2, 1.2 versus 6, 2.3. So yeah, the United States does have better boost, does have better mission control. 19.5, 484. This is 26.4, so a lot more economic potential, but only 301 in terms of research. And that's just because, you know, they're dominated up here and they have lower education. So you can fix those things, which we would like to do. But for now, I mean, it's good to know that although China has by far the bigger GDP, that's not really all, that's not the whole thing, it's not the whole picture. Kind of the same thing we can say about India. Its economic points are just terrible considering it has GDP of you know, over 10 billion. So, but I think this is another one we can turn around, you know? You could just really, because the population's there, right? So, really push that economy up. And that's the goal. Okay, so let's move on. Getting trapped in just admiring everything. I do have to say, I really like to stop and smell the roses, so to speak, and like examine those little details. Now, what were we actually trying to do? We're trying to get Danny to pick off some low-hanging fruit, since he's not great at doing much else. Oh, he can actually go and investigate alien activity if we want to start doing that. So Danny, you are, that's really good to know that you can do that if all else is busy. But no, I think for now we at least can do this. He's saving one of our other guys from having to do this.
Taking control.
Probably didn't even need to put the 2 influence points there, but that's fine. What is your job? That's kind of like the next step. So, probably another public campaign somewhere. Things are looking good for our strategy, though. I'm feeling good about it. We probably need to spend more points securing Russia, the public opinion of Russia. Oh man, yeah, we're gonna have to do a lot of campaigning eventually. We could lock Ukraine, but actually Ukraine, we actually need to go to war with them. It's gonna be a little awkward. Well, wait, we are at war with them. Are we not? Are we at war with them? Now that we are Russia, I think we are at war with them. So we can go in and actually, I guess we don't need to even take this over. I guess it will become ours the moment we take it over. But let me take a look at the chances. It was 81% here. Okay. Okay, then in that case, we don't need to do another public campaign there. I guess the next step is to start to get India to like us. So that's not good. My goodness. All right, we'll start thinking about it from a different perspective. Let's start working on somebody else. Man, we feel like we're gonna have a better chance with China than India. 2%. My God, that's just for a public campaign. Well, I guess we can start aligning Pakistan. Ah, man, even that's 21%. Or we could just start working on Russia, which is a nice, safe thing. Let's just work on Russia for one more time. And you, who do I want you to influence? One of these two, 61 versus 66. Let's get Pakistan. Pretty sure that this will be good if we can put 2 points into it. Let's go. So all we're doing right now, this is the initial territory grab. A very interesting part of the game. Okay, so they completed We Are Not Alone, and they elected to do Outpost Habs next. Very fair decision. Can't complain about it. So we finished We Are Not Alone, and now next is Outpost Habs. This is probably a good time for us to take stock of the different techs. Looks like Advanced Magnetics is popular with the right people, so we'll support it. It also looks like Orbital Shipbuilding is popular with the right people, so we'll support it. Notice, because our research is so terrible, we're still expecting management research to take another 6 months. Now, what happens if we drop this down? I think I'm going to do that, because we are expecting to go way over our control point limit. And this only adds 3 points, unfortunately, but I'm just a sucker and I do it every time. It might not even be worth it. It might actually be more worth it to find ways to boost your influence so that you counteract the way... But it's exponential when you go over, so... Yeah, those 3 points do make a difference. Just depending on how much you are over. Like, if you're 3 points over, then 3 points really doesn't make much of a difference. But if you're, like, 10 points over, the difference between 7 and 10 over is pretty gargantuan. Yeah, I think. I mean, I'm not 100% sure on that, but from my anecdotal experience. Okay, so everyone has a thing. Let's keep moving.
Public sentiment is increasingly with us.
Okay, 10%. That's a big number. Get a drink while we're rolling through here.
Our presence is growing.
Okay, we got Taiwan. Wow, that's awesome. It was a close call.
We've got our people in place.
Got Pakistan.
Our supporters are.
We got
in place.
Uzbekistan. No, we can't complain. We're lucky. I'm having very good luck right now. We're beating expectation, I would say. Okay, agents for the resistance have positively identified accounts for humanity first in the Paris region, France. Well, that's fine. That just means he was revealed. I think it's fine though. We don't have really any interest in interacting with them. I mean, the only thing we would want to do is maybe do a non-aggression treaty, but the thing is, we don't have the resources to give them what they want to get that, because no faction wants to do a non-aggression. I don't actually understand that, why everyone's so leery of being tied up in a non-aggression pact, but anyhow, that's how it is. Okay, so what's the next plan? We have Pakistan locked up. We have Bangladesh to do. We also still need to finish off Taiwan. How are your chances here? If you just ran that back. So with 4, you can look at. Oh, yeah, it's been enough phases that we should actually check if there's anything here we can do. Again, it's La Cosa Nostra. We almost have enough XP to actually upgrade some people, although it's only going to be in administration anyway, so it's not going to be that big of a deal. Okay, alright. So nothing there, basically. Once we get the tech, by the way, to unlock another person, we should do that. Which one is it? It should say here, I think. Oh, wow, okay, without the tutorial on, it doesn't tell you what the technology is. Which means that, honestly, we need to take control of this so we can actually do it, because it hasn't been given to us yet. Who's focusing on outpost tabs? Maybe we can just try to lock that one up. It will finish. I mean, the people who are supporting this are on the good side, I would say. And outpost tabs is good, but I'd rather get the management research done selfishly. We're going for like a very Earth first approach here, and I mean that more than just against the aliens, but I mean that even against outer space type stuff. If you've seen Perun, he shot down an alien vessel. That's not our goal in this series. We're going to do stuff on the geopolitical side of things. Okay, so let's get Zagurds to... Yeah, I think to take Taiwan, to lock that up. Actually, it's not really that important. I don't... Oh, no, the Academy could come in. They must be hitting their control point limit. My god.
What's the op?
Alright, Danny. I think at this point we probably are going to have to get you to start setting national policy. Let's start the Great Unification. Alright, so here it is. December of 2022. Just, what is it, like 3 months after aliens have been discovered in the universe, but actually even as close as on our planet. The Soviet bloc countries... Previous Soviet bloc countries have decided to reintegrate into the Soviet reunion, which is what I would call us, but they'll call us the Eurasian Union. Wonder if I can rename that.
Time to make.
It does take 10 influence, which is why I was a little bit leery about doing it, but it should give us dividends when it comes to... Actually, you know what? I'm actually not sure it's worth doing yet. So wait, we'll check the calendar. Hold off on that for a second. If there are any other low-hanging fruit that we can do, it'd be better to do those first. Because we are not anywhere near our cap yet. Yeah, we can do like the Himalayan states. Put 2 points in there to get that, which is also going to help us with India and with China, as I already mentioned. This is the benefit of having a unified plan, is that nations bordering each other are going to, like, we spread our influence like this. Spider it outward. Alright, so...
Ready.
You probably will end up doing another public campaign. Can we possibly get away? Okay, what is about
Standing by.
Terrassa here? Terrassa? I'm so sorry that I don't know how to pronounce that name, but it looks nice. It looks like a nice name. Yeah, she gets a 10%. This is something we can actually start to work with. No. Actually, I would say no. It's not enough to work with quite yet. Do we want to start doing other public campaigns, though? Like, okay, let's take Bangladesh. This is what I think we should do.
Bringing them on board.
And you... Yeah, you can't do a public
Ready
fund.
for orders.
It's too low of a percentage chance. This is even pretty low, crying out loud. So what do we still work? I guess we'll just keep working on Russia.
Making our case.
So that we are... I mean, it's going to make it harder for the Academy to keep things. Oh. Okay, these people don't like to work with each other. Alright, so basically we're going to have to do... Pay 19.4 influence to prevent these guys from becoming disloyal. I think I'm going to do that. Just an event which we treat as essentially a big influence payoff. Wow, we got 19%. So that's cool. My moon came back and he showed that if we resolve the problem by spending influence, it pays dividends by giving us a lot of support in Russia. Another alien ship about to crash. We got 2 of the 3 in Taiwan.
We've got our people in place.
We got the Himalayan states, which was not that big of a deal, and we also now have Bangladesh. So the plan is starting to come together. Oh, it was a critical success. That's why it was so good. The United States has open control points. Well, you don't say. Wow. God, who would have thunk? How are we doing as far as nation control points goes? Whoops. 68 out of 85, so we're still doing okay. That's probably a bad sign that we haven't really captured big nations yet. So is it time for us to start reunifying Russia and her neighbors? I think so. I keep talking about it. Let's actually do it.
Standing by for orders.
It's got to be done eventually, so let's just do it.
Where to?
I assume, by the way, when I do that we can rest our cursor here on Overview, and it'll tell us under... Doesn't tell us. Oh, interesting. Cooldowns for alliances, federations, and unifications. Okay, we just have to wait. This is very good news. We have to wait until the 29th of December 2022 before we can actually execute this plan. So that definitely means that Danny, I'm glad we didn't try to do this earlier. You're definitely better off doing something else. We could actually get into Greece. I don't have a strong reason to want or not want Greece, but Syria is interesting because we actually have some we have an allegiance to them, but that doesn't necessarily mean we have claims on them, and bringing them into the fold is not going to be easy. See, Iran's contested. Saudi Arabia. Let's just start looking at other places. Danny actually has a 53% here. That's not bad. To get Myanmar. Laos has been taken. Thailand's actually open. Interesting. It's got a huge GDP. I was going to say, who has a bigger one? Cambodia or Vietnam? Huh. Cambodia actually has a big one. I did not know that. This is actual news to me. So Vietnam is definitely completely taken by the Academy. 10.1, 23.7. So they have worse economy, but much better research. Actually, I kind of like that. Let's start working on a... Sorry. Danny, aren't you able to do something other than control? I thought you were able to do... No, that was this guy.
Ready for my mission.
No. Let's do a public campaign in Thailand. Looks like Myanmar needs it too, but let's try Thailand, because now I'm interested in taking this area. Oh, We'll spend the 40 money. That's pretty expensive. Let's do it.
I will tell
Well,
our
you know what I can do? Let me cancel that. I can get someone else to go in there instead. Like, she probably has a better chance of doing it. Yeah, she has a 79% chance, like, right off the bat.
We must.
So let's do this, get my moon to do something else.
Where to?
I'm not sure what happens, by the way. I
Where
guess
do
you
you
probably
need me?
can run back-to-back missions, and it wouldn't be a bad thing. But there's other places we can spend our influence on, including, again, that's looking good, but let's make it even better.
I will try to sway the
Keep
bubble.
securing our efforts
Standing
there, and
by.
Zagurds. Thailand is on, I mean, Taiwan is on lock, and I don't think we need to actually capture the full thing, because it doesn't, we're not going to use it, you know, for our purposes in China. We just want to leave it as a placeholder for now. So is there any place else we would really want to, you know, completely take over? I think we might start looking now to places like Bangladesh. Myanmar would also help us exert influence on Thailand. So that's something. I think we'll do that then. Sorry, did I say yes, it is Thailand. Yeah. Huh. Okay, let's do Myanmar.
Establishing control.
This is just, again, the original grab of all these nations. And every time you know, the kind of cool thing about the game is if you don't like the way your hand was dealt,
The
you can
people
always
will
just
come to
restart.
our side.
Ooh, just barely squeaked in a success in Russia.
Public sentiment
And we did
is
get, we
increasingly
were successful in
with us.
Thailand, which is going to help.
Policy direction complete.
What? I didn't cancel. Damn it. I didn't cancel this. Well, that's okay. We'll just have to let this one go. So I don't think there's anything to do. Do we want to declare war on anyone? And the poor academy has to deal with the fallout of whatever we do. No, we don't really want to declare war. So we'll just have, we just wasted, unfortunately, 10 influence, but
Prepping for next mission.
we'll have to be okay with that. It's just stupidity on my part. I thought I got him to do something else,
We're
but
taking over.
apparently not. Anyways, we're still doing really well on the RNG rolls. We've been successful in Myanmar, and that's another round of successes. So we'll take it. We'll donate 10 influence to the gods, including I guess an additional 18 before that for another event. As long as things are working out well. Okay, looks like the counselors are reporting that there's new things for us to potentially steal, including the Golden Triangle Cartel. Gives us 60 money, better espionage, better security, and plus 6% on spoils. Now it is a 3-star cartel, which is the maximum org that we can get. We're probably better off unequipping this person, unfortunately, and re-equipping them. I didn't realize that this is our criminal. But yeah, I mean, the number one thing I think we want to do is get this, and you have to be a criminal, so this is the only person who fits the bill. How much does it cost? 100, 110. We will have no influence if we don't pick them up this time, but they're very beneficial in terms of monetary income, and actually like doubly so because they give us plus 6% more spoils. We could also just wait one period and see if we have enough influence after this. Otherwise, we could also go with the 10th US Special Forces Group. This gives us increase in rest, stabilize nation, and assault alien asset. The assault alien asset is pretty good. Do any of my people have that? We'd probably have to pick up a new counselor to do that then. Or, you know, one group like this. So are those the only 2 orgs that we have? Yeah, those are the only 2. Of the 2, I have to say I'm more partial to this. I'm actually surprised the Golden Triangle Cartel doesn't give us any ops points. From that perspective, this is not that good of a unit. And it's going to take a long time if this is only +1 per month. 100 months for it to pay itself back in terms of influence. You don't like to see that. I think we'll wait. We'll hold off at least a little bit. That influence. I mean, because I think we're gaining influence assignment period by assignment period, which means that we can actually afford we'll have the padding for it, hopefully in the next assignment period. All right, Danny. As long as I don't do stupid stuff like set national policy too early, I think we have to wait think we have to wait one more period. Yeah, 29th. So we'll wait one more period and then we'll be good to go. So we're looking for easy nations to control, preferably ones we don't have to use any influence on. Otherwise, what are your other options? I guess we can have you investigate the China one. Yeah, this is fine. We'll just do this. It's going to unlock some text for us.
Ready for my mission.
So you're doing the public campaigning. 83% chance. Let me just see.
Acknowledged.
Where did you go, Zigurds?
Standing by for orders.
So you locked up Myanmar. And your chances of getting Thailand are now 70%, which is amazing. I don't think we need to do any more public campaigning there. Just 2 points of influence and we get an 82% chance.
Bringing them
I have this gut feeling that we're going to fail that
Standing
one.
by.
Might not be true, it's just a weird gut feeling that we've had too many successes in a row and we're due for a failure. Which is actually weirdly not the way you should treat it. You know, you're not, it's an 82% roll is just an 82% roll. Oh my god. Well, I guess we got to go in. So we don't control all the military, but we control enough that, oops, actually deploy them. So we'll go in. They went in and we should go in and we should follow, because then obviously we're not going to occupy the region with only one army going in there, but with 3 of us we might actually have a chance. And we do want to take the army because we get control, Russia gets control. Which is weird because actually we'll be more split. Ukraine we control completely by ourselves, but maybe we should look at, okay, I'm just
Where do you
trying to
need
keep a
me?
wrap on all the thoughts going
What's
through
the
my brain.
op?
If we do continue to do public campaigning in Russia, and we get the public opinion of the academy very, very low, it'll be easier to do the purge missions. So I'm actually partial to this idea.
We
Let's
must
continue
persuade
campaigning
people.
there. Doesn't
I'm
cost
here.
any money because it's a success with even 0 investment. Maybe we actually have both of you guys start controlling nations. The sooner we control them, the sooner we can do, like, set their budget. Yeah, so maybe just put 2 points in here.
Bringing them to our
80%,
side.
that's everything. What other nations have we recently got control of? Because I should be adjusting points. And this is like the fun geopolitical simulator side of things when you're actually adjusting the priorities of these different nations. Like Belarus, what's your deal? You have very low inequality. It's probably because you don't have a whole lot of money. For you, I actually think we should be focusing not on unity at all, because we're already homogenous. Unity increases this even more. Military is going to bring down the it's going to bring down the unrest, which is good. Here we're looking at very peaceful. We need more unity here though, because that's going to increase the public opinion. So I guess the public opinion here, it's not that great. It's going to be incorporated into Russia anyway, soon enough. But for now, at least we'll just give it a little bit of attention. We're also controlling Poland. And for some reason, the Academy really wants space program and mission control. Which I have to say I don't think is that important. Another one where we don't need unity. Especially because we're actually not the... Well, okay, we'll put a little bit of unity in. Yeah, we're back to the Soviet reunion now. Maybe this is actually okay. I think it's okay. So we could go and, like, we should be going and doing this for all of them. Hungary's not ours yet. Kazakhstan... How are we doing here? Low inequality, competitive. This is actually perfect. So just getting we just need essentially more knowledge, and the way we get more knowledge is essentially by decreasing everything and putting a higher percentage into knowledge. Surprise, surprise. The strife is high enough that I'm going to leave the military spending on. Okay, I mean, you'd have to go into the demo and read all these, but if you read all of them, it tells you what the cause and effect is. I think this system is so good. Oh boy, oh my gosh, we're at, oh my gosh, 50 minutes in. I can't believe time flew by so quickly, but I'm going to call this video to a close here. Try to get these videos out pretty quickly, since a lot of this is slow gameplay. I mean, I don't think this is lightning paced. But look at our plan is starting to come together, so at least I don't have to restart the whole thing. Until the next one, thanks for watching, stay safe, and take care.